This is Sway.
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 In the morning.
In the morning.
In the morning.
Shake it.
Wake your fuck ass up. That crust out your eyes.
We created this concert series to give our citizens the opportunity to hear the raw, the core talent of some of the artists that are coming up here. Those that dare to step into the arena.
No doubt.
And with that said, I met this young lady. I had a very fortunate experience through a friend of mine named Magoo, who works with Beyonce and has for years. And after the Super Bowl in New Orleans, he and I ended up at the same poker table.
All things in that poker.
All things in that poker. And we start talking about that incredible show that shut the lights down at that halftime show in that Super Bowl. And from that, him and I became friends. You know, I met his family. I've been to his home when he comes to town. We hang out. And, but we never talk business. And one time he asked, hey, man, would you like to come see a rehearsal? And I was like, yeah, man, I would love to. I'm a big fan of Beyonce's. Mm-hmm. You know how I feel about Jay, a big fan of Jay.
Right.
And it was for the On the Run tour. And,
right, okay.
And they were rehearsing over in Jersey. Mm-hmm. I won't disclose where because I was privy to that private information.
Right.
And I got a chance to rock out with the band. And one of the band members who's with us today, Enzella Joy, she was hitting on those drums so hard. I was like really curious about, damn, you really hit hard. I like how you hit.
Right.
And turns out that she's also an artist herself. She's had many experiences from working around the likes of Sean P. Diddy Combs. Right, and created your own all-girl band as well, and you went to school and studied music as well.
That's true.
Yeah.
I went to school, and my bachelor's is actually in criminal justice.
Yeah.
Which when I say that, people are like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
But I did a minor in music.
You did a minor in music.
Yeah, so I'm like, if music doesn't work out for whatever reason, I have a solid backup plan.
Okay. Criminal justice. I don't get what you want to go into. Wouldn't you be a detective or what was your?
Yeah, more so along the lines of like the cool like CSI type stuff. Like, I wasn't trying to do like shootouts and stuff, running down the street, getting shot at and things of that nature. But, doing some investigations, the behind the scenes.
So here's the question. How does a person who's an aspiring artist, who, has a dream of becoming a part of something big, end up working with the biggest artists on the planet? Like, how did that happen? How did you end up working for Beyonce?
Man, it's funny because I feel like everything is like divine order. Like everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Amen.
So you mentioned having worked with Puff. I did that back in 2009. It was a show called Making His Band. And on this particular series, he was looking for musicians and background singers to go on tour with him and Dirty Money. So I went, auditioned, made it through a bunch of rounds, but at the end of the day, I didn't get picked. And I was like so disappointed. Like, man, I spent all this time trying to audition and like, I was just kind of crushed a little bit. But while on the show, I met a fellow contestant who also auditioned on drums, who's now Beyonce's music director.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah, so that's where
And what's his name?
His name is Derek Dixie.
Derek Dixie,
yeah,
yes.
Amazing guy. So even after I got kicked off the show, he was still on, but we still kept in contact. So, we just keep up with each other, text message, phone calls here and there. So when the position opened up for the Beyonce opportunity, which was December 2013, he just hit up an old friend to see if I would be available to do it.
Networking. You see that have to be. And here's the thing, man. You probably work around. One thing, I've been in the business for a long time, so I usually, if I go to concerts, I'm in the back. I don't like to ask for tickets, none of that.
Right.
She'll tell you, Magoo, but, it's a good friend of mine. He's like, come through.
Yeah.
What I noticed about the environment working around Beyonce, and I'm not just saying this, is every single person was extremely nice and forthcoming. Mm-hmm. Has that been your experience the entire time?
It has, and I'm so grateful. Like, I went into a unit that was already established and had been established for the past 8 years or so.
Yeah.
Members like BB, Caddy, and Rie, they've been a part of the all-girl band ever since there was an all-girl band. Oh, okay. So with me being a newbie, I was a little nervous. I'm like, is it going to be cliquish? Will I fit in? Will they accept me? But I've had the fortunate experience of just falling right in place and them becoming my sisters. Like, they're just like family now.
When you're an artist, you came to me and said, I'm an artist. I said, when you get a chance, you could come up on my show and get this kind of exposure. Do you have the liberty to do that around them at all? Like play Beyonce your music, or if Jay come in, can you play them your music?
I'm a little more low key.
Yeah.
being that I am so new. So with my band members, I'll play it for them like, oh, check it out. I just released a single, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, I kind of don't want to be that worker in the
don't
camp
get
to be
fired.
like,
Don't get fired.
right.
Come on, Sway. You trying to get him fired?
Nah, I'm just asking because, you know, it's a lot of
Damn.
people in her position that want to know. Do y'all sign confidentiality agreements or you don't discuss what goes on behind the scenes, that sort of thing?
We definitely keep what goes on behind the scenes, you know, what goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't relate to the music, you know, I'm not going to disclose information about, you know, little Baby Blue or Jay or, you know. So it's that level of professionalism.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't relate to the music, then, you know, the public is not, you know, privy in that way.
Loyalty. I had that same issue with Heather B and Tracy. You know, it's a lot of stuff I do that I really don't want them to discuss to the public, you know. Sometimes you get Tracy big on social media.
He was going to say, it's really directed towards Tracy. He just
Anyways,
put my name in
Heather,
it
you
just
better shut up.
to make it more, to not leave Tracy feeling bad all by herself.
Anyways, Joy, question for you. Because
Yes.
I'm reading this book called Mistakes That Made at Work, and it's a compilation of all these women in different areas in their professional life, and they're very, very transparent about a mistake they made that made them question if this was even the right path they should be on.
Wow.
Was there a time where you messed up and you were like, yo, it's a wrap? And how did you bounce back?
Wow, that's a great question. Is this like as for the Beyonce gig or just any gig period?
Yep, Beyonce and others too.
Let's see. There was one rehearsal when we were in Glasgow. We had a 17-hour rehearsal before the second
Wow.
leg of the Mrs. Carter show. And we had been rehearsing all day. And I think maybe the fatigue had gotten to me. And there was this one part in one song that every time we got to it, I missed it. And every time I would miss it, I would get like more and more nervous. So it would make me even more tense when I was playing. And in my head, I was like, if you don't get this part, like it's not even that hard of a part. But like I just kept missing it and I just got like so scared. So it's not like anybody's like, hey, get this part or else. But as a professional, in my head, if I were the music director, I would be telling myself, get this part or else. So I just kept struggling with that part. And then finally I just like came to and was like, what are you doing? Like, wake up. I know you're tired. It's like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. Get it together. Like, you're a young professional out here. Get it together.
Yeah.
So I had a little pep talk with myself. And once I did that, like I made it through. But before then I struggled like the first few times with that part. And I was nervous, like, yikes, like are they gonna throw shade and kick me off the gig? But it worked out that it was just a rehearsal, and then I worked through it and I did get the part. So by showtime I was smooth on it.
It was
Good
all right.
stuff.
You don't want Beyonce walking in and say, bow down, bitch, and
Look,
get out.
right.
Right?
Man,
You don't want that happening.
looks.
Enzella Joy is here. We're going to open up the phone lines, 888-742-3345. We're going to play one of her singles. It's called The Most. Give us a call. Sway in the Morning, Shade 45. All right, that's The Most, new song by Enzella Joy, who's with us right now. A lot of you may have seen her before, don't even realize who she is. She's one of the drummers for the magnificent, electrifying Beyonce and has been for some time now. Is how we met, but you got dreams of your own too, correct?
That's true, Sway. That's very true.
And you're from Buffalo?
I am, and I still live in Buffalo too.
Okay, why is that?
I was born there, so there's the family aspect, the familiarity, but soon I am looking to go out west.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious because Sway brought up Buffalo, and all I think about is buffalo wings. But, just a girl being in
Wow.
Buffalo, New York, the winters are very harsh. And as a little girl, how did you just think drums? Like, I'm going to be a drummer. Like, out of all the things in the world, how did you get to that point being up in Buffalo, New York?
Right, that's a good question. My dad is into music. He's like a quartet singer. So as I was growing up, I would see him doing like gospel music sessions and things like that. So I can definitely attribute some of the interest to music, attribute it to him. But I just kind of had an interest in rhythms. So when I was 6, my dad bought me, it was kind of like a toy, and it had like 4 drum pads on it where you could change the sounds and play around. So I was doing that. And then I was 10, he actually bought me like a real drum set for Christmas.
You just started going ham on the drums.
You play keys, you play drums. What other instruments do you play?
I play guitar a little bit, and then that helps me with like making records and things like that. So
You're a young lady, a beautiful young lady. You got about almost 9,000 followers on your Instagram, and then I'm sure traveling around the world, being with 2 of the biggest artists the planet has today. you got your share of groupies, right? How have you dealt with fans and groupies?
I mean,
Yeah, man.
I don't want to call them groupies. I'll just say we got some super fans out there.
Super fans,
Mhm.
yeah. You never had you never met anybody on the road and had maybe an encounter. You like how I put that, Heather? You ever bang out somebody on the road?
No, I mean I've had experiences where people recognized me and I was surprised that they did. Like with being new to the Beyonce band, we were in Amsterdam and I was walking over to Starbucks and there was a girl standing there and she was just staring at me and she's like, "Hi," and I was like, "Hi," and she just kept staring at me and I was like, "How you doing?" And she's like, "Good," and she's like, "Joy," and I was like, "I'm like, are we in Amsterdam or like where are we?" She's like, "Are you Joy?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Awesome. Can I take a picture?" And I was just like, "Sure, like if you want to," like.
Yeah.
So, stuff like that is kind of mind blowing to me. Like, that far away, people recognizing.
You mentioned Amsterdam, being able to travel so much. Coolest place you've been so far?
I'm a huge fan of Dublin, Ireland. I loved Dublin. And it may be because my mom's side of the family is Irish. Like,
oh, okay.
Yeah, kind of far off. Like my great grandmother is Irish, so that makes me a little bit Irish.
Yeah.
I can celebrate St. Patrick's Day and things. But yeah, I kind of felt like a connection when I landed, which is, I hope it doesn't sound cliche, but right when I got to Ireland, I was like, wow, like it was something real refreshing about it.
About Ireland?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had that experience too, man.
There we go.
But I went to the Guinness shop, and then that helped enhance that experience.
Come on.
Right? My last name is Calloway, Joy. It has some Irish
connotation.
I think it might have been on an Irish plantation. Look, we got these these drums for you.
Okay.
Before you go, I want you to demonstrate just your skill set, so the citizens out here can hear what a real drummer sounds like. Is that okay?
That's all right with me.
All right.
Okay.
Give it up for Enzella Joy. She's gonna get set up right now. You ready? Okay.
Damn.
There it is.
Wow.
Enzella Joy. Come back over here. Come on. Come back over here.
I didn't want that to end.
Yeah, I know, right? I like that style. I like
I
that.
thought you was gonna start, doing some of your dance or something, man.
I almost flipped a freestyle to that, Joy. I almost did. I was gonna catch it, but it's your time to shine. Yo, congratulations to you.
Yeah.
All right, and you got an EP that's coming out, right?
Yes.
In April.
Yes, April 4th. Woo, give it up.
Okay. And you work. The working title is
Orange Moon.
Orange Moon.
Yeah.
And on April 4th is the next
lunar eclipse, which will be an orange moon.
You see that, Heather B?
Wow, it's all about design, Sway.
It's all about design. Joy, how can people reach you if they want to reach you directly on your social media?
Yeah, it's Joy the Drummer, just JoyThedrummer on Instagram and Twitter.
Okay. Thank you for coming in.
No, thank you.
All right,
God bless
absolutely.
you.
Good
Many
luck to you.
blessings to you.
Tell my man Magoo I said what up.
I will.
Give Jay a pound for me and give B a hug for me. They know me.
Okay.
All right. We're going to end with one more song, and it's called
Live.
All right. Here it is. Enzella Joy, Sway in the Morning.
It's Sway in the Morning, only on Shade 45.